Hello guys, this is What's Spawn What Ifs here. This is going to be part 2 of What If Deku and Bell were Mandalorians. So then, in the last part I left off with Deku and Bell getting their Beskar need helmets, along with, their armor plates for their arm, along with the whistling shot, I think that's how it's called. And, well, currently they are on board of their frigate, currently moving to another planet. Now, this time, instead of going to Tatooine, they go to an unnamed forest planet where there is only one colony, which was made during the Republic. And when they come down there, they actually see something which surprised them. They see another guild of true Mandalorians. Something which they weren't expecting, because the true Mandalorians are actually the most few in the galaxy. They're like the smallest, group of Mandalorians. And so, now, with them being also there, since they were like a splinter faction of the Death Watch, which believed in the true Mandalorian ideals, so they were taken in. And before this, they had about 60 Mandalorian warriors and also all their families. So yeah, but now they had 100 Mandalorian warriors. Well, yeah. And so as they went there, they started making preparation. They started making more repairs on their ships, and also doing whatever they could. Until they realized, at least until one of the Mandalorian warriors came back and actually told them that there were several Imperial bases on this planet. Now, the Mandalorians, some of them looked a bit confused because there are supposed to be zero Imperial presence on this planet. That is, on this planet, while others looked eager to get rid of the Imperial scum, while others were a tiny bit scared because they were the ones which they took from guilds which were completely obliterated by the Empire. And, well, after a bit of scavenging, or looking around, they found the cruiser which had attacked them on, I would have said New Typhon, or Typhon, on their first ever planet which they were on. They found the same fleet which attacked them. And well, after doing some peeking around, they saw that there was at least 1,200, or well, at least 1,000 stormtroopers in the first base, and there were 3 bases. Although the Mandalorians did think of attacking them, there was one small problem. The Imperials had 2 AT-ATs and several dozen AT-STs, along with several speeder bikes for their scout troopers. And also the entire base was enclosed, so they had to think carefully about that. And well, instead of attacking them directly, they went to a area of the planet where there were no, there were no, well, people or intelligent beings there. It was in the middle of a marshland where they found an unnatural cave beneath the swamp. And well, they ships that is beneath the swamp. Although there was like in a cave which was overgrown by trees, roots and weeds, so it really couldn't be seen from afar or from the air. So it was a perfect area for the Mandalorians to hide. And well, they started making their base there, preparing for the attack on the Imperials. Although before that, they realized that they needed more heavy weaponry, because AT-ATs, yeah, they had barely enough heavy weapons and explosives to take down all of the AT-STs, let alone the AT-ATs. And also, I forgot to mention, that base also had several dozen TIE fighters, TIE interceptors, and even several TIE bombers. So, yeah. Now then, and if you guys are wondering, all three of these bases actually belong to a Grand Admiral, which all of you may know, that being Grand Admiral Thrawn, who is currently in the unknown regions, further, how do you say it, expanding his own empire. And well, he is rather powerful, although currently he can't enter the, how do you say it, the known galaxy, mainly because of the New Republic, which is gunning out for him, and every single other Grand Admiral, since Coruscant is currently under the Rebel control, or the New Republic control. And, well, as the Mandalorians start setting up everything there are areas for sleep, areas for training, and most importantly, their forges. Now, because Mandalorian, how do you say, the blacksmiths, I believe, which made the Beskar armor, they were rather rare, with specific families being the one who were passed down for generations on how to make Beskar into armor. Now, they set up 3 of those forges, and that's when they started using the limited supply of Beskar they had to make even more armor, and also some, how do you say it, they also, well actually no, yeah, just armor. I started using it for that, making the helmets and also the breastplate. And eventually they had another 20 sets of full Beskar armor. And well, after that they sent out 60 of the Mandalorians to go around other planets and just to do jobs which they find. Now then, Bell and Deku were at this point being carried by one of these, how do you say it again, freighters to another planet. That planet being, what should we call it? Yeah, let's just say that they're currently going to. Oh crap! Just a minute. Okay, so let's see. I believe that I left off with saying where exactly Deku and Bell went. So, currently Deku and Bell went to Nal Hutta. And well, that's when they began doing some jobs for the Hutts. Or, well, not exactly the Hutts immediately. They started doing the jobs first for small ranking, how do you say it? Well, bounties, that being finding low, how do you say it, low-tiered criminals, how do you say it, tax people who were evading their taxes, and also some who tried to run away from the Hutts. And their Bell and Deku were pretty good at that, along with, since both of them were a team, with Deku always being the long-range support, while Bell was the one who went up close and personal. Now then, at once, after they had about 2,700 credits, they get issued, or well, they get a request from the Hutts. They are willing to pay both of them 2,500 credits if they're able to track down a rogue bounty hunter and his group of other hunters. Now, he was known for mainly this, that he killed a Mandalorian, took his armor and is currently wearing it. And his crew is mixed up a bunch of different aliens. So like those, I just said, pig-looking aliens, the green-skinned ones on Tatooine or on Nal Hutta, like the grunts or the Hutts. Yeah, he has some of them has the melee, he has some humans, some Twi'leks, and also, let's see, also some Zabraks. If you guys don't know what a Zabrak is, it's a red-skinned alien which has 2 horns. Yeah. And they're all together, they have about 13 of them there, along with the bounty hunter who's wearing Mandalorian armor. Now then, when Deku and Bell hear that, they get enraged, because stealing an armor from a Mandalorian, yeah, that was a big no-no for them. So they accepted the job. Now, some of you guys may be wondering why this job like pays so, how they say it, so, well, so little, considering that they're going to be going, that they have to go ahead and kill 14 different enemies. Well, the thing is, even though that guy did kill a Mandalorian, he killed a wounded Mandalorian, which just got into a fight with a Sarlacc. So, yeah. Not Boba Fett, by the way. Just so you guys know, he did not kill Boba Fett. It was another Mandalorian who sadly fell into a Sarlacc pit. And, well, as all that was going on, Bell and Deku tracked them down. Deku took a position about half a kilometer away from them and, well, set up his sniping nest while Bell went in close. Now, they waited for 3 hours until 9 of them were asleep, with 5 of them being left as sentries. Now, Bell uses his, well, not his pistoling shot, but he uses 2 of his throwing knives and is able to throw them right at the throats of the 2 sentries which are right in front of him. Now, the 3rd and 4th sentry see this, but before they can do anything, Deku immediately shoots both of them right in their heads. So they also fall to the ground. And if you guys are wondering how the other guys didn't hear that, well, they're sort of in a, how they said, in a sealed away bunker, like beneath the ground. And also, the sentries were actually quite far away from each other, like 100 meters so. Well, so yeah, they couldn't exactly see the blaster fire. Or, well, not see it, but rather hear it. And, well, the 5th sentry, which heard everything, started running towards the bunker. But before he could get any further, Bell simply comes behind him and cuts his head off with his sword. And you guys are wondering what sort of sword he has a vibro sword. That being basically the one here on the picture, right next to the Mandalorian's foot. And, well, that's when both of them simply enter the bunker, with Deku now using his dual pistols and Bell using his assault rifle. Or, well, assault blaster, I believe, or I think that's how you call it. But anyways, as they enter the bunker, they see that 2 of them have actually woken up. Before they can do anything, both Bell and Deku at the same time jump at them and then use their, well, Bell uses his knife while Deku, which, well, Deku really wasn't expecting this, he didn't bring his knife along. Or, well, he doesn't even have a knife yet, because, just like I said, the true Mandalorians aren't exactly on their best hands. And, well, Bell couldn't, and Deku couldn't find any good knives to buy from the shops in Al-Hata. So he just choked the guy out, while Bell took his knife and then stabbed the guy in the neck from the side. That's when Deku issued to Bell that he also kills the other the other hunter. And he does just that. And before they can do anything else, a thermal detonator, or, well, not a thermal detonator, but rather a grenade is thrown right at their feet. Now, both of them jump out from the way and the grenade explodes. At that point, the other 7 hunters, that is the other 6 hunters and the bounty hunter wearing the Mandalorian armor, all of them come out and start firing at them immediately. Now, Deku and Bell start shooting back, with Bell using one of his own grenades and throwing it at them, killing a further 3 of the hunters. While Deku takes cover and starts shooting his dual pistols. And he's able to kill 2 of them as well. And so, now there is only, now there's only 2 hunters remaining and the bounty hunter wearing the Mandalorian armor. And the guy who has the Mandalorian armor, he has a heavy blaster, or a heavy repeater, I believe that's how it's called. So yeah, he starts shooting at them. Now, Deku gets hit, but he gets hit in his shoulder pad. So and his shoulder pad is the Beskar armor, so yeah, it doesn't do that much damage to him. Although he does get sent back flying, since, yeah, that isn't exactly a small amount of force coming from a blaster repeater. And that's when Bell takes his assault rifle and starts shooting at the bounty hunter. Now, he's able to shoot right, well, he shoots him right in his joint. That is the joint which, well, not the joint, but rather the area where there is no Beskar armor. That being, if you guys can see here on the picture, that being right here. So, yeah, right there. He's able to shoot him 2 times in between those 2 spots. Now, at that point, the bounty hunter drops his heavy repeater because he can't carry it anymore. He just got shot 2 times, and he actually starts running away. But before he can get away, Deku takes out his sniper rifle and shoots him, well, in the back of his leg. So he falls down. The other 2 hunters then also try to run away, but they get swiftly taken care of by Bell. And that's when both of them simply come to the bounty hunter which took the armor. First, they said that was well, rather stupid thing of him to do, because, well, and after that, Bell took the blade and just immediately punched it right straight through the guy's throat. So, now they had actual Mandalorian armor. If you guys are wondering how that armor looks like, well, it only has the breastplate, and, well, that is, it has the breastplate, the helmet, all of the armor on both arms, and then only the knee pads on the legs, if you guys are wondering. And so they take that along with the guy's head and bring them back to the huts. The huts were pleased and they gave them their credits. And after that, they left Nalhata, going back to, well, their main base. And when they return, they see stormtrooper corpses all over the town. And, well, they're a bit astonished by that, but they see like 50 or so stormtroopers dead. And that's when they start shot at. That being by several other stormtroopers and an ATST. And keep in mind that they're currently in this. So, yeah. The pilot quickly, well, that is the gunners and the pilot quickly make an evasive maneuver, because there's 3 ATSTs firing at them with their rockets, so yeah. While the gunners start firing back, they're able to destroy 2 of the ATSTs, while the 3rd one simply backs away. And now they know now the pilot and all the other Mandalorians there know that they can't exactly simply get them to show them the way to their main base. And they also can't use the comlinks because they don't know if they've been tapped. So yeah, essentially 4 of the more veteran Mandalorians, which have jetpacks, get out of the ship and start heading their way by foot. And while Bell and Deku, along with the pilot and the other 6 Mandalorians which were there, which were, well, also just like Bell and Deku, that being the, how do you say it, which aren't like full Mandalorians. They don't have all of their armor. They only have like the helmet and the shoulder pads. Just a minute, guys. Okay, so let's see. I believe that I left off with saying that Deku and Bell were currently, how do you call it? Alright, left alone, crap. So, as I was saying, Deku and Bell, along with 7 other Mandalorian recruits, or, well, true Mandalorian recruits, along with 2 pilots and 4 gunners, which were like actual Mandalorians, but with only one of the pilots being a veteran one, so he had like the full set. And so they were currently running away, or, well, flying away from the Imperials, and that's when they picked up something on the radar, that being 11 TIE fighters and 3 TIE interceptors. And now that became a problem, because this freighter right here, well, although it does have some anti-starfighter capabilities, it doesn't have a lot of them. It has the how do you say it? one main cannon, as you can see currently, on the front of the ship. It has the one on top, which is used for anti-starfighters. Then it has a further two cannons on the left side, that is on the bottom and on the top. And then on the left side it has two cannons as well, the same way as I said on the right one. And so as the gunners start shooting, with now the four gunners being on the entire starfighter, well, how do you say it, cannons, start firing at them, they're able to take down quite a few of them, but eventually their shields are, well, disabled, and they get shot at by the four starfighters and two interceptors. And then eventually their engines get shot down, so they start falling. And they weren't exactly that much off the ground. They were like maybe 20 or so meters. So yeah. As they fall to the ground, and the starfighters simply begin to circle them as they see walkers, that being ATSTs, approaching their position. So then, the veteran bounty hunter uses his jetpack and actually gets on top of one of the TIE fighters. Now, what he does is, well, just in a badass way the Mandalorians do it, he opens the hatch to the TIE fighter, kills the pilot, throws him out, and then takes control of the TIE fighter. Then he begins shooting at the other TIE fighters, and eventually he's able to destroy all of them. Because, just like I said, this guy is a veteran pilot, and so after that he lands the TIE fighter down, and well, and that's when they see it. 70 stormtroopers and 4 ATSTs, along with those, how do you call them again? The transports the Imperials use, like the heavily armored ones. Yeah, also 2 of them come as well. Yeah, so the 5 actual Mandalorians with full armor, along with the 7 recruits and Bell and Deku, making them 14 all in total, make up defensive barriers there. Along with one of the pilots actually gets on top of one of the, how do you say it, cannons, the cannon which still works, and starts shooting at the ATSTs. Now, he's able to destroy 2 of them before one of them launches in a rocket, which then explodes. Basically, sorry guys. It basically destroys the entire half of the ship where the Mandalorian was. So yeah, safe to say, he's dead. And now the battle really begins, with all of them firing at each other. Now, Deku took a position inside of the hangar and is using it as cover while shooting his sniper rifle. At this point, he's running low on his ammo supply, since he has already killed 11 stormtroopers, while all of the others were able to kill. That was the first wave. The next wave was considered of 160 stormtroopers, so yeah. And well, all of them are starting to run low on bullets. Or not bullets, but rather, how do you say it? I'm actually not sure how exactly reloading works in Star Wars, but essentially they're starting to lose ammo supply. And well, just as they're about to be overrun, several rockets ring from the sky, killing most of the stormtroopers. That's when the rest of the Mandalorians show up, along with one of their freighters also comes. So, after that was done, all of them quickly load onto the second freighter, and well, quickly fly off. And well, when Bell and Deku asked their mentor, that being the veteran Mandalorian ace pilot, what exactly was that about, what exactly happened to the colony, he simply told them that the 4 Mandalorians which were there, and also the town guard, which was all basically militia with small firearms, they got attacked by several ATSTs and several hundred stormtroopers. They do not know why they attacked, but After all four of the Mandalorians were killed, a dozen more Mandalorians came up to retrieve their bodies. So they were able to escape, but the town was completely destroyed. Although now the Imperials have scattered. That being that all of their AT-STs, their TIE fighters and TIE interceptors are all currently in the air, looking for where we are. And they also don't know how many of us there are. Although the other two bases seem to be research facilities. So they do have a fair amount of soldiers in them as well, that being 200 stormtroopers in each base, along with a couple of TIE fighters and maybe one or two interceptors. Also some AT-STs and troop transports, but that's it. And currently, as I said, there is 96 true Mandalorians, which are currently fully equipped, and then we have a further 62 of you, young Mandalorians. Well, not young Mandalorians, but rather true Mandalorians in training. And so, well, that's when Bell and Deku actually show what they got, and that was like the armor which they took from the other guy. And so, well, they gave this to the Forge to, smelt it down and create it into, their type of armor. And they give to Bell and Deku, not their full, they give them the full armor now. And essentially, both Bell and Deku look like this. Although this one is, the red paint scheme is Bell, while the green paint scheme is going to be Deku. That being that Deku has a green and black texture, or, color of his armor, while Bell has a white-red color. And essentially, they prepare for battle. Bell and Deku are now sent together to take care of a squad of stormtroopers and each squad of stormtroopers is 21 to be exact. Or 20 stormtroopers, 4 scout troopers, which all them being on their speeders. That is 2 scout troopers being on 1 speeder. So they have 2 speeders, 1 troop transport, and also they're being commanded by an Imperial officer. So then, Bell, Deku, along with 3 other Mandalorians only Bell and Deku are tasked to deal with this squad. And they do just that. Bell takes out something which was given to him by their forge, by their, blacksmith. That is not their blacksmith, but rather the guy who organizes their weapons. They're given a thermal detonator. So yeah, he uses that and throws it at the transport, or at the front of the transport. The 4 scout troopers are immediately killed by the blast, and the transport is knocked. Well, not exactly knocked, but it can't move anymore. And also its weapon is completely disabled. Now, as the stormtroopers start to exit, Bell and Deku immediately open fire. And that's when Bell also throws a grenade into it. So yeah, the only one left is the Imperial officer, which Bell and Deku immediately take back to the cave for interrogation purposes. And they do learn quite a bit from him. They realize that what they thought was just 3 Imperial bases, not connected, or now they get the information that all 3 bases are just one gigantic base which spreads all throughout the planet. Or not all throughout the planet, but rather that it's connected by tunnels beneath the ground. So yeah, and all the Imperials have 2,700 stormtroopers, 160 TIE fighters, 2 of the cruisers, 2 cruisers, 4 frigates, and several other smaller transport craft. And let's see, they have 4 AT-ATs, 2 of them being at the main entrance or at the main base, and then 2 being further, hidden beneath the ground at the research facilities, along with 70 ATSTs and 24 troop transports, with the one they just destroyed being one of them. Then they ask how many casualties the Imperials took. Now, what they get told, well, they get proud of it. Out of 2,400 soldiers, the Imperials that is 2,700 soldiers, the Imperials probably have 2,200 soldiers remaining. Yeah, that's looking so good with them. And furthermore, they lost half of their TIE fighters, all of their time bombers, which they were destroyed by one of the freighters which was entering back from atmosphere. We just targeted them and destroyed them. And also half of their TIE interceptors. So yeah, currently the Mandalorians didn't outnumber them in starfighters. Actually, the Imperials outnumbered them 4-1, with the Imperials now having, 80 starships, or, well, not starships, but starfighters, while the Mandalorians had only 20. So it wasn't looking that good for them, although each one of the Mandalorian pilots was excellently trained. And on top of that, they also had 2 more freighters and 1 frigate. Although that wasn't really gonna make that much of a dent to 2 Imperial cruisers, the 4 Imperial frigates, and their own, transport craft and smaller escort classes. And so the Mandalorians have finally chosen to do that. They send out Mandalorian parties of like 2 to 5 Mandalorians to deal with the Imperial squads, further diminishing the Imperial hold, one which they currently have held the forest under, or the swamps. And that's when 26 Mandalorians, along with Bell and Deku and their mentor, are sent out to destroy one of the AT-ATs, which was sent to, it was sent to go ahead and try and find where they were. It was being escorted by 260 stormtroopers and 7 AT-ATs, that is 7 ATSTs, and also 4 troop transport vehicles. Now then, as they were simply making their way on, all of the true Mandalorian veterans used their rockets which they had on their jetpacks. Now, using that, they were able to destroy, all of the ATSTs, blocking the Imperial soldiers' transports. And that is the Imperial soldiers and the transports, they cut them off in 3 different groups, with the AT-AT currently being in the front. So yeah, several Mandalorian warriors used their jetpacks and were able to get on top of the AT-AT when they started cutting their way through the, top of it. Needless to say, the stormtroopers which were there immediately started firing, through the hole which the Deku and Bell's mentor had made. But before they can do anything, Deku and Bell's mentor simply took out the EMP, or the shock grenade, and threw it down there, which immobilized all of the stormtroopers in the vicinity. And that's when the 3 of them simply entered the base and immediately started shooting. And once they get to the cockpit, they simply put 5 charges on it and then left. They activated the charges and completely blew up the AT-AT from the inside out. And while this was going on, the other Mandalorians, including Bell and Deku, were getting rid of the troop transports and the stormtroopers. With Deku was able to take out dozens. Well, not exactly dozens, but, a dozen or so stormtroopers with his sniper rifle, and then a further 11 using his dual pistols, with Bell using his, vibro sword to swiftly take care of several stormtroopers at once, and then using his blaster rifle to simply start shooting in the fray of them. And while that was going on, the other... Okay, I believe that I left off with Deku and Bell currently destroying the Imperial escort mission. And so, now the Imperials were down to 1,900 soldiers. Now, they were getting a bit, how do you say it, scared at this point. They just lost an AT-AT and most of their AT-STs in the forest. So they recalled back all of their troops. But as hundreds of stormtroopers were making their way towards, well, the base, blaster fire can be heard almost immediately. All 160 Mandalorians, well, true Mandalorians, along with the trainees, immediately start firing at them. And, well, it's a massacre. It's a one-sided massacre, with all of these stormtroopers dying. And now, the full force of what the stormtroopers have in the main base would be about 600 stormtroopers, with 300 being in the first research facility and 400 being in the second research facility. And well, the Mandalorians attack. The AT-AT is really of no use, since they don't exactly have any sort of their own tanks, because each Mandalorian is a one-man army. And so, until this time, instead of Deku's and Bell's mentor taking out the AT-AT, he is taken out by several of the rockets, which were on the Mandalorian jetpacks, and they targeted the neck area of the AT-AT. So yeah, the cockpit simply gets blown out, and the AT-AT falls, crushing several dozen stormtroopers and 2 AT-STs. So yeah, pretty good. And soon, all of the stormtroopers start retreating. They get on board of their, cruiser and start to leave. Although before they can do anything, the Mandalorian frigate, along with their, frigate and their freighters, along with all their own starfighters, also simply, well, come out of nowhere. Now, they shoot out the engines of the cruiser and it falls down. The other cruiser is already in the hands of the Mandalorians, and well, with that being said, the first cruiser is destroyed, while the second one is captured. Although 3 of the Imperial frigates are able to escape, along with most of their transport vehicles. Although their escort ships, the ones being through through escort ships of 50 to 130 meters in length, yeah, they were left behind. And so, with that being said, currently the Mandalorian fleet was bolstered from just 1 frigate to 2 frigates, 1 cruiser, several, well at this point, 11 freighters, and several dozen more starfighters. Although they were TIE fighters and TIE interceptors, so not exactly the best ones, and they would also need to be, put inside of the cruiser to, well, be able to to be stored on him, because TIE fighters do not have hyperdrive engines, or at least I think that it's called that. And well, after all of that, the 2 research facilities also quickly escape the planet, with a couple of dozen of stormtroopers being left behind, but they're quickly taken care of by the Mandalorians. And so, this planet is now considered a refuge to all true Mandalorians. And well, the true Mandalorians which are currently there get back to doing their own bounty hunting missions. And also, Bell and Deku continue doing missions like this for the next, they continue doing bounty hunting missions like there and there for the next 3 years. So currently, both Deku and Bell are 18 years old, with Bell being a bit older at 19. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 2 of What If Bell and Deku Were Mandalorians, and I hope you all have a great day.